What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Mortgage Mondays, the show where you learn all about mortgages and the questions that you never knew that you needed to know. Today, we're going to be talking about low down.
Yeah, David, what's the lowdown on where you're trying to buy right now? Where are you seeing opportunity?
Oh, yeah, I do get that a lot. I guess I wrote long distance real estate investing, so it should be expected. I really like the South. There's a couple cities in the Midwest that I think could be coming along. And
well, you're actually in Hawaii right now. What's the lowdown on your trip? How's that going?
It's been good. Yeah, I'm kind of getting a tan and making sure I'm running and swimming every day. Hawaii's beautiful this time of year. I was hanging out with Brandon the other day.
I like it. Well, David, we're getting off track. Give me the lowdown on inflation and rates going into 2024.
Yeah, I do talk about that a lot too. I guess you mentioned it. Oh man, rates are going to be all over the place. It's hard to know exactly what's going to happen, but I do think we're going to see consistent inflation for the near future. But wait a minute. Why are we getting into that? Look, the only lowdown that we're going to talk about today are low down payment options that people didn't know are out there. Today is the show that you didn't know you needed. Welcome to BiggerPockets Mortgage Monday. Christian Batchelder, welcome to Mortgage Monday. Glad to have you here with me today. And we've got good news for those that don't have a lot of cash saved up. There are some low down payment programs other than FHA that people don't know about, but you do, and you're going to share it with us today. Welcome to the show.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
But before we get into today's episode, I want to let you know about a great way to invest in yourself. Will you be ready to tackle the challenges of today's market? Our real estate investing bootcamps can get you ready. 8 weeks of interactive and comprehensive courses with expert instructors will give you the confidence that you need to achieve your investing goals in the new year. Bootcamps start in late January and enrollment is open now, but don't delay. Bonuses like an entry to win a one-on-one coaching call with your instructor. Can you think of anything better than an opportunity to get advice directly from the experts themselves? Other bonuses to jumpstart your investing include a free BiggerPockets ebook, Amanda Hahn's tax saving course, a 2024 quick start guide, and a pitfall avoidance workshop. Visit biggerpockets.com/enroll me to learn more now.
All right. So first off, if we're talking to real estate investors, they want to buy houses. These are primary residence loans. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to choose to be an investor or to be a primary residence. There is a way to take your primary residence and make it an investment property, and we call that house hacking. Can you describe what house hacking is for anyone who may not have heard of it?
Absolutely. I'm honored that the house hack specialist himself, the guy who knows everything about it, is asking me to explain it. But house hacking, guys, for those of you who are unaware, it's basically you buying a house, and whether it's a single family and you're renting out rooms to other people, or you're buying a multifamily, which is a 2, 3, or 4 unit, and you're renting out other units to people. The idea is that you're using that investor mindset, but getting in for the cost of a primary residence, right? So you're buying a primary, you are living there, and you are using the other, whether it's rooms or units of the property, to help subsidize your mortgage payment, right? And you're getting some rental income from your primary, right? So the place that is normally just a pit of expenses is actually creating some cash flow for you in a lot of situations, or at least decreasing your living expense.
Now, a lot of people know about FHA loans, so let's start with that. What is an FHA loan, and why is this good for somebody that doesn't have a lot of cash to start investing?
Yeah, FHA loans are very commonly referred to as like the first-time home buyer loan. A lot of people think FHA stands for first home and then A for something else, all right? But it's not. The FHA is a very good starting point for a lot of people. We're going to talk about 2 loan alternatives today that I would actually argue have some advantages over the FHA loan. And then, of course, if you're a veteran of the military and you haven't used your VA loan, please do it. It's incredibly easy to qualify compared to other loan products. You have to put no money down, and there's no PMI, which is mortgage insurance, which is an extra expense on your mortgage. VA is by far and away the best loan in America, with these other low down payment options that we're going to discuss today coming in on a close second.
Okay, so what are some of the common traits of an FHA loan?
The most obvious is the 3.5% down. That's the one that people focus on the most. That just means 3.5% down of your purchase price is the minimum down payment that you can get in for. A couple downsides of the FHA loan: has to be a primary, as we discussed, which is all the loans that we're discussing here today, which means you have to live there. That's what primary residence means. It also has lifetime PMI, which is mortgage insurance. And with FHA, it usually has the highest mortgage insurance of any loan products, which means even though your interest rate may be pretty competitive, a lot of your savings on that interest rate may get eaten up based on the mortgage insurance that you have to pay every month. I mean, it can be a little bit of a downfall of the FHA product. That PMI also does not fall off. A lot of people think my mortgage insurance just falls off when I get around 20% equity in my house. FHA, it does not. You actually have to refinance out of an FHA into a different loan product to get rid of that mortgage insurance. So that's a downfall of the FHA loan.
Also, if you're buying 2, 3, or 4 unit properties, there is a self-sustainability rule, which is basically the property is going to have to cash flow on its own merits if you didn't live in it. Is that right, Christian?
Yeah, it's the whole formula to it. But yes, it's essentially the property needs to be able to support itself. And if you're buying in any major metropolitan America, it almost 90+% of the time won't work.
And you can only have one of them at a time. And just some things to be aware of with that, FHA loan does not mean primary residence loan. I've often heard these used synonymously, even by other influencers, believe it or not. People that talk about real estate for a living still believe that a loan that you use to live in a house on your own is the same as an FHA loan. It's not. An FHA loan is a type of primary residence loan. Okay, moving on from that, we've got a VA loan. This stands for the Veterans Administration. These are loans that are eligible to military members. What are some of the characteristics of a VA loan?
Yeah, by far and away the best one, 0% down. VA loan's awesome for that. You don't actually have to have a down payment. Standard, 30-year fix. It's a solid product. Same as FHA. It's very forgiving to FICO scores and high debt to incomes. So a little bit more flexibility in terms of what you can qualify for with those VA and FHA loans. There's also a complete lack of, we talked about MIP and PMI, which is the same thing said different ways. VA has none of it, which is a great advantage.
So moving on from the VA loan, we know we've gone over FHA, VA. These are both common loans. Well, now we're getting into the good stuff. Thank you for making it this far into the video. You are about to be rewarded. What is the first loan that people don't know about that you have access to that you're going to be sharing with our audience today, Christian?
The first one is the Purchase Plus loan. That is actually a name. And this is a conventional loan product. It's a Fannie Mae offering. And a couple will kind of go through the same things, the pros and the cons of these. Purchase Plus is a unique one. So the first characteristic of it is that it's one of the few loan products that has a geographic eligibility criteria. This program's unique. This is referred to as the reverse redlining program, which sounds ridiculous. Okay. Redlining in our industry basically means a lender redlining is illegal, by the way, right? Redlining is targeting a specific, whether it's a demographic or geographical area that like a lender does not want to lend there. Right? Whether it's because of crime or demographic, whatever it is. So this product was actually released by Fannie Mae to reverse redlining. There are targeted areas, and let me just give you guys some shotgun, spots. Cleveland, Dallas, Detroit, Houston, Memphis, Miami, New York, New Jersey, Oklahoma City, Philadelphia. There's a lot. I'm reading a list. There's probably 50 different cities here. And if you're in one of those cities, it doesn't mean you qualify. You have to be in one of the approved areas in those cities. And there's a lookup tool that you get. And if you are in one of those currently and you are moving, there's basically a grant program for you. How it works is that you get a kind of a weird number here. So you get two main things. You get a $5,250 credit towards your down payment. That's a weird number. It's $5,250. That's an easier way to remember it. $5,250 credit towards your down payment in the form of lender assistance. It's a grant. You don't have to pay it back. You also get a $500 appraisal credit. So $5,250 plus $500. We're now at $5,750 total benefit to the borrower. Okay. You also get lower mortgage insurance than all the other comparable programs that we've discussed about. That's an added help. The downsides is this is a first-time homebuyer program. Okay. You have to be a first-time homebuyer. The second, as we discussed about, is the geographic eligibility. You currently have to live in one of these allowable kind of reverse redline areas, but you can move anywhere. So this program's unique. It grades where you currently live, not where you're moving. So you can move to Beverly Hills and you potentially utilize this loan product. Big one about this program we've discussed on previous episodes, there is no area median income limit, which means you can make whatever you want. A lot of these low down payment, the second one we're going to talk about, has an AMI restriction. But area median income, all that means is that you have to make less than the median income for that area in order to qualify for the loan product. This one's cool because you don't need to. And lastly, this is obviously a primary residence loan. So this is to help people get into their first house. You can buy 1 to 4 unit properties with this. A lot of pros all around.
Moving on, the next program, One Plus. What is this?
Yeah, just like we just discussed the Purchase Plus, the One Plus is our second one for this episode. So this is a 1% down program, meaning you only need 1% down payment. Okay. The loan is actually structured like a 3%. You put 1% down, the lender grants you 2% for a total down payment of 3%. We discussed this a little bit on a previous episode. This is like the Zillow loan that we were breaking down. This is a very similar program to that. And this is just to show you there's no Zillow branded product. There's no Bank of America or Chase branded product. This is something that brokers can offer. It's just with these certain criteria that we're going to try to be a little bit more honest with you up front, right? As I discussed in the Purchase Plus, this does have area median income limitations, which means you have to make below the area median income for your county. It's actually broken down by zip code. So for your zip code, and there's tools where you can look up, if you just search AMI lookup tool, you can find what your area is. You have to make less than that. And the 2% grant goes up to a purchase price of $350,000. So that's a total grant of 2% of that would be $7,000. Okay. So our partner lender requires you to put 1% down. The max loan amount here is $350,000. So that's $3,500 down that has to come from you. And they will grant you 2%, which is $7,000. So they're doubling your down payment, paying for 2 to 1 on what you put down. Once again, this only has to be for primaries. You can't buy an investment property and get some of your down payment granted to you, right? They don't do that. This program, you are not required to be a first-time home buyer. You can own another property, which is kind of cool.
All right, so let's sum up the One Plus. This is going to be considered a lower income loan. So you have to make less than the average income in your area. And where did you say people can go to find that out?
There's a lot of tools online. If you type in AMI for area median income lookup tool, that's what you Google, AMI lookup tool, it'll just ask you for your zip code. And it'll give you the AMI limitations for loan products. And usually it's 80%. Because remember, we have to make less of it.
Okay, and these income limits are probably determined by Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac.
Yeah, they are. Somebody who smarter than me is putting them together because it's for every zip code in America, and that's a lot of work.
There you go. So there's always a catch, right? Like you're not going to be able to be someone who's making a ton of money and owns a ton of properties and wants to buy it as an investment property and still gets the low down payment. That's why you have to be creative. You're going to have to buy these properties to live in them yourself, because anytime you're buying something that's not a primary residence, you're always going to put more money down. The only way that we've really found around the it's not my primary residence is when it's a secondary home. Now that's not quite a low down payment option, but it is a lower down payment than the 20 to 25% that we typically see. So can you briefly describe what these secondary home loans are like, and then we'll let you get out of here?
10% down for second homes, has to be in a vacation-like destination, and it can't be too close to your primary residence. It has to be 50 miles away. You do qualify in the same way. There's no grants for down payments. There's no lower interest rate, anything like that. It's just a lower down payment as an entry fee, so to speak, instead of that 20, like David said, 20 to 25 for investment. So it cuts your down payment in half. Other benefits are pretty limited, though. The down payment is the biggest benefit.
All right. Thank you for that. And for the market research that you've done to find some of these low down payment options. If somebody wants to get a hold of you to learn more about using one for themselves, where would they go?
Absolutely, guys. These are Fannie Freddie products, just full disclosure. So lenders offer them. Obviously, if we're discussing them, we offer them here at The One Brokerage. If you want to reach out to me, Instagram at The One Broker is the best spot. Our website's also theonebrokerage.com. Little apply now button in the top right. Click that, get in touch with the team.
And if you want to get hold of me, you could check out davidgreen24.com to see all the different things I have going on, or you can find me anywhere on social media at davidgreen24. Send me a DM and let me know what you're thinking. And if you want even more resources, check out biggerpockets.com. We've got an entire forum full of questions. We've got tools like the agent finder and the lender finder. We've got calculators that you can use to estimate the cash flow of properties as well as rehabs. And we've got a whole library of books, a few of which I have written myself at biggerpockets.com/store. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let me know in the comments if you already knew about any of these loan programs, or if this may have been news to you, and if you plan on using one of these in the future. Let us know if we can help you with that. And as always, please like and share the video and subscribe to the channel. We will see you next week on Mortgage Mondays.